African lady. Lord, King man love you. King man love you. King man love you. I man love African lady. King man love you. King man love you. King man love you. I man love. Oh na na na. All my love is for you. Yeah. Sometime when I feel sad and lonely, na 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 na, lady, you give me love and make me happy. Na 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 na, lady. I know many times I've done things that bring water to your eyes, but I know it's wrong, so now I apologize. African lady, no. King man love you. King man love you. King man love you. I man love. Yes, I love African lady. King man love you. King man love you. King man love you. I man love. There's no other one like you. Oh, mama, oh. Oh, mama, oh, mama, oh. Makata, makata, usi. Makata, mama, Lord, Lord. I love you, woman. You are the one who gave my children. Na 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 na, lady. You always try your best to care them. Na 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 na, lady. You're the mastermind of a strong and happy family. You're the sole protector of my legacy. African lady, Lord. King man love you. King man love you. King man love you. I man love. Tell you again, African lady. King man love you. King man love you. King man love you. I man love. Lord, Lord. Makata, makata, usi. You're the lily of my valley, my lady. Oh, makata, usi, makata. Lord, woman, I love you. I know I love you. Yes, the king man love and the king man love you. Like the king Solomon and Sheba. Yes, the king man love you forever. Makata, makata. Woman, I love you. Woman, I love you. Woman, I love you. Woman, I love you. Want you know, want you know, want you know I love you, Lord. Lord. Makata, makata, 'cause I never felt this way before. This morning, I don't know if it's just a dream. This morning, but it really makes me want to sing. This morning, little children, come gather round. Oh, my children, I beg you, hold hand in hand. Are you ready to sing a song of peace and be happy? In a time like this, it's not yet too late. We could break down the barriers of hate. You should love thy neighbor as thyself, I say, and put an end to violence today. Help your fallen brother by the way, and surely we will see a brighter day. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Mash it up. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Reach out and touch thy neighbor. Too long we living like strangers. Reach out and touch thy neighbor. Too long we living like strangers. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Neighbor, 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 love thy neighbor. Come, reach out and touch thy neighbor. Too long we living like strangers. Reach out and touch thy neighbor. I tell you, too long we living like strangers. Neighbor, 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 love.
And good night to you, Grenada, Carriacou, and pretty Martinique, the rest of the Eastern Caribbean, wherever you are locally, regionally, internationally. We say a special good night to each and every one of you. Yes, indeed. Hope all of you are having a wonderful night tonight thus far. Turn the music good as soon as I come up with this. Start to hear it now. Nice, yeah. Tested it and thing working proper, you know. All of a sudden things started a problem again, you know. Anyway, we fight it up with it. We say a special good night to those of you joining us via We Noise Radio. Those of you joining us via the YouTube, those of you joining us via the Facebook, we hope that you all have been having a wonderful night thus far, yeah. That bug really in the system these days, yeah. I'm hearing it here. I am not sure if you all are hearing it on your end or if it's just me hearing it tonight. But I am hearing a little static on my end, so I'm not sure if it is coming over to you all as well. But let me know. I know you all will let me know in the comment section if it is clear or not. So let me know if you all are hearing it, or if that's just me in the studio that's hearing that bit of noise that I'm hearing there, or if I got it properly, because I know I wasn't seeing any static showing up. So I'm not sure. Yeah, nice. Yeah. Good night to you, Pastor Celestine. Ron Julian, nice. Yeah. Augustine Bridgman, nice. Yeah. Sherma Alexander, good night to you. Anastasia Peterson, yeah, good night. Moko, good night to you, bro. I hope everything is all well and okay with you. Nice, yeah. It's not the equipment, it's the software, because I realized they have up my artwork from 2 programs ago. Yeah, not even last night program artwork they're showing on YouTube and thing there. Chris London, yeah, good night to you. Salam, let me see. Glenda John, good night to you. And who else is there? Who else is there? I see Angela Lendor, David Langclos, Claude Abraham, Adrian Watts, Luna Lolo Williams, Anastasia Peterson, Joyce Lewis, good night to you. Ruth Chitterman, Andrea Burke, Cindy Thomas, Agnes Henry, Anna Lewis, Teresa Joseph, Rosalind Jones, Cynthia Bartholomew, Vanessa Lalji, Denise Sandy, Marilyn Ferguson, Sky, Shirley Skerritt, Cicely Celestine, Kathleen Ledlow, I see you there, Norma Felix, Dolores Redhead, Jermaine Lewis, Bernadette Joseph, Joan Henry, and good life, good night, good life, good night. Anne-Marie Grant, good night to you. And John Stafford, Cliff Raymond, good night to you. Carib Spice, good night. And and I know it's not a good night for a lot of people because again this morning we had another very unfortunate situation taking place with another young lady, only 18 years old. That is the information that has been given out, only 18 years old. I will not go into, and I see a lot of folks online going back and forth in relation to what caused it and this and to me those are senseless discussions at this point in time about who do this and who do that, because you cannot, no matter what is said, you cannot say that what took place this morning, no matter the circumstances circling it, no matter the circumstances around it, there's no part that you can say what took place there was right. Let's just start from that point. A young lady has lost her life. Someone who was productive to society is somebody that get up in the morning and was heading to work, not somebody that was sitting at home. And there's the thing, is some productive young people that and it's hurting, I just ain't crying on air tonight, but it's hurting because we're losing some productive young people. We just lost a nurse. We already had to bring nurse from all in Ghana. They're going to find nurses because the local nurses, some of them going. And those that are here under pressure. And you have a young lady, Karen, that was going to be a nurse to take care of us. And her life was snuffed out. You have another young lady dress, get up early in the morning and head into work. And this come and happen. Productive young people, not young people that sit down home begging and saying why this person didn't do that for them and that person didn't do that for them. Productive, giving back something to the country, working, trying the best. And I'm not saying that means that the others who are not doing that they deserve something. No, I'm not saying that they deserve that. I'm saying just look at the quality young people that we're losing to violence. Yeah? And you see, my deceased grandmother, she died at the age of 83. And she always said prevention better than cure. I hear a lot of people talking about the cure. A lot of folks, we're speaking about the cure. Oh, give longer jail sentences. Even when they used to hang people in Grenada, people still used to kill people. Let me just make that part clear. It meant that another approach had to take place along with that. But even when they used to hang people in Grenada, people still used to go and kill people. People know they could spend up to 33 years in jail and they still go in and rape. People know if they go and steal, they could spend how much years in jail and they still go in and steal. So we have sentencing and so on that is in place. But again, my grandmother used to say, God bless her deceased soul, prevention better than cure. And as a nation, we need to focus on the prevention. What is it that we are saying to our young men? What is it that we're saying to our young ladies? Because, again, another error in thinking is that a lot of folks keep speaking about the young men, the young men, the young men. And we're not speaking about the young ladies enough. And you hear them talking about gender-based violence. And anytime you hear gender-based violence, you tend to think that's only men on women. And we refuse to accept, and you have people that laugh at it when they hear that there are men that are being beaten by women. It happens. It may not be as prevalent as what happens with men beating women, but it happens that you have women that beat men. And these men embarrassed. They ain't going in no police station and say, my wife beat me or my girlfriend beat me. They're not going. But it happens. So when we're saying gender-based violence, Just understand that it goes both ways. And you also, whether you want to admit it or not, there are same-sex relationships here in Grenada. With man beating their boyfriend. And with girls beating their girlfriend. It is taking place, but we ain't having them discussions, are we? We focusing on give them X amount of jail time and cut off this, cut off that, cut off the other. Prevention is better than cure. Our condolences go out to the family of the young lady that lost her life this morning. That life was, she didn't lose it, it was taken away from her. Whose life was taken away from her this morning. So much potential that's just gone. 18 years old. Gone. Yeah? So I could imagine what her family is feeling. That's oftentimes when they see you leave to go to work, but they don't know if you're going to reach, you know. They see you leave the house, they don't know if you're going to come back. So it's indeed a sad situation, but prevention is better than cure. How many of us as parents have had a conversation with our children in relation to this particular issue? Yeah, and I'm talking about past the situation. Yeah, I'm talking about past the situation of fathers telling the daughter, if any man touch you, I go do them this and I go do them that. How many of us have had a conversation with our daughters outside of that? Because a lot of us as fathers, that's the conversation we have with our daughter, you know. Don't let me hear no man lashing you, because if any man lashing you, go be a different kind of thing. Don't let me hear no man beating you, because it go be a different kind of thing. Because sometimes, you know, you're causing this situation to continue because your daughter now, or even your sister, believes that, hey, I don't want to get my father in trouble. I don't want to see daddy go to jail for the rest of his life. I don't want to see daddy get in trouble. So instead of coming to you and saying, daddy, the boy beating me, he hold me, he choking me, he do me all kind of thing, he box me up, all of this. Instead of coming to you and say that, they take the abuse and they remain quiet because why? They're afraid daddy go now and get himself in trouble. I have some kind of brother and them day, and I'm afraid my brother and them get in trouble. So you're lucky, you know, because if I did tell my brother what you do me, he would have get himself in trouble because you know he's a kind of man. How many of us are having that conversation with our children to let them know there's a proper way of dealing with that? Instead of, if a man touch you, don't worry man, 6 feet under you go in. How many of us are having that conversation with our sons that, hey, in life you may meet people and then you all may go your separate ways. And when that happens, sometimes you go your separate ways and it's something better that come in your direction. So don't start to go crazy over who is gone and so on. Respect them, respect their distance, respect their decision. How many of us are having that respect conversation with our young men? And I'm speaking to myself and I'm speaking here too, you know. I'm not just saying this here. I am speaking to myself as well. I have sons. How many of us are having that conversation with our sons and saying, hey, boy, if you and the girl can't make it, let the young lady go she way, you go your way. Respect she decision to go she way. How many of us are having that discussion? Or you talk it over, or you sit down and all you talk, or you had a conversation, or you make up all your mind, or you sure, all you done. Right, well if all you done, let the young lady go her way, you go your way. How do you deal with the emotions? Because sometimes we the elders don't know how to deal with the emotions, much less to tell our children how to deal with the emotions. So these young guys, and not only young ones, you know, because big hard back man too, confused, they don't know how to deal with their emotions. And when they don't know how to deal with their emotions, it comes into one emotion is vexation, upset. You want to fight. You want to hold and strangle. You want to beat. You want to... All the emotion go into one, anger. Because they just don't know how to deal with the emotion. Are we having that conversation with our children in relation to controlling your emotions? Little as Javon is, I have that conversation with him. Because sometimes he's playing a game or something and he get frustrated and you hear him, and he frustrated and after certain, no. That's a game. You could lose now and you could win afterwards and so on. You don't have to get upset. You don't have to get frustrated. 8 years old, well 7, soon to be 8, and I have that conversation with him. Because you have to start all day. Are we having those conversations with our children? Or are we only going to be jumping on the bandwagons that pass in and saying, hang them, give them long jail sentence? You know how much 33 years is in jail. You feel like it's not a long jail sentence? Yes, we could give more. No problem. I have no problem with getting more. But you think 33 years is a short amount of time in jail? 1 day is a lot of time in jail, much less for 33 years. But how do we avoid getting to that point in the first place? And I tend to disagree with one statement that I hear a lot of folks making out there, where they say that Grenada is leading in relation to sexual crimes and so on. There are a lot of it taking place and have taken place and a lot taking place now. But I disagree that we are leading in relation to the crimes. I think we are leading in relation to reporting of the crimes. That over the years we have gotten to the stage where young people, especially in the school system, there's the good touch, bad touch, and there's thought about that from in pre-primary and primary school coming up and so on, and they understand. So they know if something happened to them, and you can't tell mommy or daddy, you could come and tell teacher. Or you could tell somebody that you trust, you could have that conversation. And that over the years, you've had advocacy taking place, and you must commend the NGO community. I don't often do it, but you must commend the NGO community working along with the government of Grenada over the years to ensure that issues like this are brought to the front. And you've had people who have been through the cycle of it coming out and speak, and it has made a lot of people who had it repressed because whatever happened to them years ago were able to come forth and say, hey, I'm a victim too. This happened to me when I was that age. This happened here, that happened there, that people were able to come out and speak. So I think because we tend to look down on ourselves, and I still believe that I live in the best country on the face of the earth, with the worst government on the face of the earth, but I live in the best country on the face of the earth. There is no place better than Grenada. Yes, we've had these unfortunate things taking place. In my view, it is 3 murders. In the view of the Royal Grenada Police Force, they're saying 2. I believe the young man that they found dead in the house in Lansapine. From all the information I see coming out from the family and so on, I consider that to be murder number 1. Whether the police consider it to be so or not, that's up to them. But I consider it to be murder number 1. So this is murder number 3. And that is 3 too much. This is Grenada. We doesn't operate like that. This is Grenada. We don't have... And if we begin to get numb to this, if over a period of time we begin to get numb to this, and we get to the point of what I see happening in Trinidad. I spent the first 17 years of my life, I spent it in Trinidad. And I saw what happened in the 1980s, 1990s, coming up to the 2000s. I was out by the 2000s, I was long out of Trinidad. I spent the majority of my life in Grenada. The majority of my life. Over 2/3 of my life I've spent here in Grenada. But I remember what was happening in the 80s and 90s. You were hearing the murders going up and becoming more and more gruesome, and you're hearing these kind of things. And then by the time the 1990s rolled around, and you started hearing some of these kind of murders that were taking place, people became numb to it. Murders wasn't going on the front page of the newspaper again. Before, every time a murder happened was the front page of the newspaper, and everybody, oh my Lord, what's happening in Trinidad and Tobago? And it became so commonplace that right now people are killed in Trinidad and they don't make the first 5 or 6 pages of the newspaper. There's some way down inside, this body was found there and that sort of thing. And I don't want us in Grenada to get to that stage. I don't want us to get numb to these things. I want us to be outraged. I want us to decide, no, we are not allowing our country to become like the countries around us. that you could have other OECS countries that are ranking in the top 10 for murder in the world at different times. That we cannot allow that to become us. We cannot simply say that this is taking place in other countries around, and because it's taking place in other countries around, it have to take place with us. When your neighbor house on fire, wet yours. Wasn't it Sir Eric Matthew Gary that used to say that too? When your neighbor house on fire, wet yours. So you can't just say it's happening in other countries and then it go reach to us. You have to do what is necessary to protect your people, especially when you're in a position of power. So you have been entrusted with the responsibility to protect your people. And when I say your people, it means everybody in the country who vote for you, who didn't vote for you, who never vote, who visiting. Everybody in the country is your responsibility when you're a leader. So you can't make statements like what I was playing last night, and I will play it again tonight. You can't make statements like, if I don't know you, you're just a statistic, you're just a number. No, what you are is my responsibility. Once you are in a position of power, that is the approach. I come out of the school of Dr. Keith Mitchell, I must know that. Everybody is your responsibility. And as such, you cannot take the approach that the belief of that individual just has to be ignored, or that the concerns of an individual are not valid because you see them wearing an NNP t-shirt with an NNP hat, going to an NNP rally waving an NNP flag, that their concerns are invalid, and only valid concerns are the concerns of the people who put on an NDC t-shirt. That is not leadership. That is not leadership. Leadership is caring about everybody. Leadership is understanding the importance of not just appearing to care about people, but actually really caring about people. It's not photo opportunities and I dress up in a nice dandan and I go out to visit some parents and have my face like a dolly that just come out of the factory in China. It is not that. It is actually caring. It's like I don't even want a camera. Sometimes I go in and see you. I don't want a camera around. I just go in. It is actually, it comes from here. It comes is actually caring about people. And not just caring about looking like you care about people. There's a difference. Caring about people sometimes means you can't sleep. Because you thinking of what they're going through and their emotional stress is projected onto you and you can't even sleep. Okay, studying, well, what this person going through, oh gosh, this is how they're going through that. You see, there's a serious lack of emotional intelligence when it comes to this government. And if it's one thing, I know that my political leader, the Honorable Emlyn Pear, she actually teaches courses in emotional intelligence. And there's a lack of emotional intelligence when it comes to this administration. Outside of the chat GPT speeches and all these AI generated nonsense that they do and so the fluff, there's a general lack of emotional intelligence. They just don't care. The only thing they care about is how they look, how they feel, and what they can get. Today, I wasn't able to listen to the entire thing, but I was able to listen to part of the debate in the House of Representatives as regards the domestic violence bill. And you know, I was listening to that bill and something struck me. Good night to you, Giza. Thank you. Good night to you, Giza. And Merrill out there in Springs. Merrill. I'm making sure they know it's the right Merrill I call it. Merrill out there in Springs. Good night. Yeah. What struck me when I was listening to the domestic violence bill today was that on April the 4th, I'll give you the exact date, April the 4th, 2014, at the Parliament of Grenada Senate sitting, I said at that time, the same sections you all making us take out from the electronic crimes bill, in time to come, some of you will be asking for it to be put back. And you know, the very same thing happened today. the very same sections that they made us take out back then in 2014, the 4th of April, remember the date of that Senate sitting? We made an amendment to the Electronic Crimes Act that we had passed in 2013. I was the lead on that particular one in the Senate at that time. And I made that, you know what? Let me see. Hold on. We'll take a short thing here. Hold on. Yeah, I must have that. Yeah. We'll take my word for it. Do not take my word for it. Yeah? Well, yeah, take my word for it. Do
in
not
relation
take my
to
word for it.
the amendments
Yeah?
that we are making to this bill. And let me
Well,
just
yeah, take
echo
my word for it.
one
You
of
know, hold on. Let me just get this
Denuncio.
properly. Let me get that properly. Yeah, yeah. You moved in. Nice. You come back. Yeah, you're talking in the back there. Don't talk in the back there, boy. Making too much noise. Yeah, take my word for it. Or we can take my word for it. Yeah? Tell me, if you listen today to the domestic violence bill, certain aspects of what I'm about to play here is exactly what was placed back into the law by this government.
very quickly. Young people in Grenada are being exposed on a daily basis to the world of information communications technology. They are able to access things through their smartphones and their tablets and their computers, even while they're on Grandance Beach, or if they're in Granada Lake, they could access information communication technology. And with everything that's good, there's always a negative that follows with it. And in that context, this bill was seen as giving teeth to these young people being able to protect themselves. Whereas in the case of myself, if someone says something that's wrong about me, as an individual through the civil courts, I could always bring a case against them. And I'm sure you're pretty aware of that clause. If something that's untrue is said about a person, that person through the civil courts could defend themselves. How does that affect a 14-year-old who doesn't have the same ability to do the same thing? In that context, government constitutionally has a responsibility to protect these individuals. And these clauses that are being today, in particular clause 6 and clause 16, was giving the opportunity for government to be able to protect those individuals. Let me speak specifically to section 6b. Information which an individual knows to be false. Why should someone want to be able to say something about somebody that's false? Why should you want to? I have a constitutional protection here. Now people talk to the Constitution and they continue to say the Constitution this and the Constitution that. Section 10 of the Constitution says, except with his own consent, no person shall be hindered in the enjoyment of his freedom or expression, including freedom to hold opinions without interference, freedom to receive ideas and information without interference, freedom to communicate ideas and information without interference, whether the communication be to the public general or to any person or class of persons, and freedom for interference with his correspondence. We all have that freedom. We all. I have that freedom. Individuals outside of the chamber have that freedom, Mr. President. But Section 2 of the VIM Act says, nothing contained in or done under the authority of the law, any law, shall be held to be inconsistent with or in contravention of this section to the extent that the law in question makes provision. In other words, laws cannot be made that take away persons' ability to do that. But there are two clauses after that that individuals need to look at. It says, Section A, except in these conditions, that is reasonably required in the interest of defense, public safety, public order, public morality, or public health. Right? So in the instance of that, you could make a law that contravenes these rights and freedoms that individuals have. But Section B says that that is reasonably required for the purpose of protecting the reputation, rights, and freedoms of other persons, or the private lives of persons concerned in legal proceedings, the disclosure of information received in confidence, maintaining the authority and independence of the courts, or regulating the technical administration or the technical operation of telephony, telegraph, post, wireless broadcast, television, etc. And there's a C, that imposes restrictions upon public officers. So public officers cannot simply go out there and prefer information that's supposed to be in government circles. Section B says, basically here, that you cannot go out there and say things about me that are untrue. It says that you cannot go and make false statements about me out there, because even though you have the right to speak, that right comes with responsibility. And we are saying that when we instituted this law, we are saying that you have a responsibility as an individual to verify that information that you're putting out there and ensure that that information you're putting out about an individual is true. So we didn't do a law that is against the Constitution of Grenada. Individuals are coming around saying, read the Constitution to people, tell them the entire thing. Don't read a section and leave a section out. Read the entire Constitution and let people know the truth. Not your opinion that's based on hatred for the Prime Minister, or based on hatred for the New National Party, or based on personal innuendo because you've had experiences with the New National Party or the government before, but based on what is factual. And what is factual is that this law was meant to protect the people of Grenada, not to take away their constitutional rights. There's nothing in here that has been infringed. Nothing in here. Nothing. If you could prove it to me, go right ahead. But there's nothing in here that has been infringed. But we have simply said that if people misunderstood the intention, that we are willing to withdraw it. And you speak of tyrants. Tyrants don't turn back. Tyrants don't decide that we have all 15 seats in the lower house and we have the majority in the Senate, obviously, and that we could keep this law in place if we use it against you. Tyrants don't operate in that law. So the response of tyrants has nothing to do with the government of Grenada. We should be praised for taking this principled stand of saying that, listen, you have concerns in relation to something, even though we do not agree with you in relation to the statements that are being made, that we are willing, because we are a government of all the people of Grenada, not just the people who voted for us on February 19th, that we are willing to take what you have said into consideration, and therefore we are willing to amend the law. The Prime Minister, immediately after the Senate sitting last year, when this law was passed, said that it would be amended. You hear individuals trying to take, when will it be amended? It's being amended now. We said it would be amended, and we have kept to our word, and that needs to be praised, not attacked. We are a government that's listening, and instead of trying to work along and saying that we understand what you're saying and this is good, and therefore we encourage you to continue doing that in relation to various legislation, you're being attacked and said, well, you're trying to muzzle the media, and also that's an opinion, it's not a fact. That's an opinion, and your opinion may be based on your past experiences, etc. Your opinion may be based on your past experience with government or with individuals, but it does not make your opinion fact. Electronic stalking is an issue that's been spoken about in the international community. Not just here in Grenada, it's been spoken about throughout the Caribbean. In fact, cyberbullying, even as late as last week in the US, I'm trying to remember the state, there were laws that were passed in relation to cyberbullying. Section 16, Grenada was way in front of many countries in the region in relation to this particular issue. There's an issue with it. Individuals say, well, it's not clear enough. Okay, it has been amended. It has been repealed. A police officer without warrant may arrest a person, Section 25. Any police officer could arrest any person without a warrant anyway. So to state it in this is just to put it into this section here. But taking it out of here doesn't change the fact that a police officer can arrest anyone that is guilty of a crime or suspected of a crime anyway. And individuals need to read the criminal code. So to try to twist this thing as though it was some victory for some individuals because the government was attempting to be vicious towards the media or vicious towards some individuals or so, and that is a great victory for anyone. This is a victory, if anything, for the government, in that the government and the people of Grenada have showed that it is willing to listen. And if some people would listen, they would understand that. And just to finalize something on Section 6 here, information which he knows to be false. So you know the information false, but you want to put it out about people. And you were speaking earlier about the member for Northeast speaking about a newspaper publication in relation to his salary. The point that the member was making was that the information therein contained was false. That was not his salary. It is false, and it was made to, and in fact, that particular newspaper that you are speaking about has a habit of publishing information that it knows for a fact to be false. In other words, it is a conscious effort to deceive people. It is a lie. It is not an opinion. Now, if you're a media individual and you're publishing something and it's an opinion piece, I can understand an opinion piece. Because an opinion piece could be based, you could say, okay, this is my opinion in relation to something, so people know not to take it as factual. But when you state something and you put it and you change a figure to attempt to make it factual, what you are doing is lying. And I have protection under the Constitution for that. And that is what that newspaper was doing. That is what the individual was speaking about. So to cast all sorts of aspersions on the Media Association president and all sorts of other people, that is opinion. That you have said, through you, Mr. President, nothing that you have said, honorable member, is the truth. It's opinion. Nothing you have said. But nonetheless, the government of Grenada is amending this legislation. And as I stand here today, I know that in the future, the very same people who have been calling for this to be amended will be the same people calling for it to be further amended, for sections of this to be reintroduced into this bill. Because when things such as cyberbullying start to cause some of our young people who can't go to a lawyer to put in a case against someone who has destroyed their character, their ability to gain a job, they put up all sorts of things about them. Even up to last night, there were things being said to me, about me, online. People were calling me, they're saying this, they're saying that about me. I have no problem with that. I'm a person in public life. I'm not afraid of that. They could say what they want. But I am man something as Sheldon. I am man enough to put my face, my voice, my mouth out there and say what I have to say. I don't have to hide behind fictitious names to say anything about anybody. Because when I say it, I make sure that it's true. I make sure that what I say is factual. So I don't have to hide to say anything. So this would not affect me. And I could talk to a lawyer and I could pay a lawyer to defend my character. But a 13, 14 or 12-year-old child cannot do that. The state has a responsibility to do that. That responsibility has now been taken off from here. So we've left our children vulnerable. But again, we withdraw this section of the bill. Mr. President, I beg to move the second reading.
So I did say it on the 4th of April. You know how to keep receipts, eh? I did say it on the 4th of April, 2014, that the same thing they make us take out then, because it was needed. And remember, in 2014, you were not yet speaking about AI, you know. It had no artificial intelligence kind of thing. You had Facebook, you had Instagram to an extent. Of course, you had YouTube and those sort of things. And Twitter, as they called it then. Yeah? But you did not have the involvement of AI, where you can, because my voice is a well-known voice and my voice is on thousands, literally, there are over 1,000 videos on this platform, the YouTube platform alone. Thousands of places you could find my voice. And there is software where you can take my voice and have me saying anything. There's software where you can take a picture of an individual. And one of these nights I'm going to do a program where we actually show you how that is possible, because there are things that they're going to do that we know they're planning and they have people to do that you have to be aware of, so you could look out, so you could know when it's false and when it's real. We know they're coming with that. So there are apps right now, you can take a picture of a person and make the picture come to life. Like if the person is actually there talking and so on. I go through social media every day. Sometimes you have to take a 2-3 days off of it to just stay away from Facebook, stay away from them things. Sometimes take my stupid advice. Sometimes fast from social media and so on. Take a 3 days off of it. Yeah? But I go through social media And sometimes as high as 60% of the stuff I see coming across the screen is artificially generated, is not real. It's stuff that somebody put into a program and it creates, and it have a man talking and saying something. You see the President of the United States speaking with some person that you know, and so on, a meeting that never take place, and you hear the voices of the two individuals talking. And for some people that don't know how to tell when that is AI generated, they go away with the belief that this thing real, boy. When President Trump do that, when this person do that, when that one, no, you have to understand what's going on here. So when we brought forward that bill, to tell you how visionary that was, we were one of the first in the region to have that bill in place, the Electronic Crimes Act. But there was concern in relation to those sections of the bill, so we removed it. But you all heard me then. The same thing they asked us to take out then, they go ask us to put it back. Well, they didn't ask us, but they had to ask for it to come back. So today, when I see them go to Parliament and they're talking about cyberbullying, and so I sat and I shake my head. I say, boy, imagine that. How much years later? Now it's how much? 12 years later? 12? Yeah, but 12 years later, the same thing that was said then, see it come to reality now. That the same thing that they said take out, and that I said they go ask for it to come back, you see it coming back now. And that's not to say I had told you so. That is to say sometimes we have to look at things outside of the political lens, because a lot of the fight down at that point in time had nothing to do with what was actually contained in the bill, but had more to do, we want to score points against the NNP. They win all 15 seats. They can fully control the House of Representatives. The Media Association decided that, hey, it have no official opposition. We have to become the opposition. So they opposed different aspects of it. They had their concerns. We explained it. They still had their concerns. What you going to do? As a government, we didn't do like this government that's still looking to come with the different bill in relation to handing all of the responsibility for your children to the Attorney General and the Minister of Health. Unlike them, what we did is we withdraw. The bill was passed. They say, hey, we know we have concerns about this. We have concerns. We want those things to come out. And what did we do? We took it out. With this government, they're passing it and they're leaving it there. We told them there were problems in relation to aspects of the Firearm Act. They'll go and jump up on TV and saying that, oh, we was against the Firearm Act. No. There were aspects of it that we had concerns with. Because technically, and I hope you all understand this, if you are traveling in a vehicle right now, you stand up at the side of the road waiting on a bus, and some friend of yours or somebody stop and give you a ride, and as soon as you reach down the road, the police stop that vehicle and search it and find a firearm or even one bullet in that vehicle, you and everybody else in the vehicle going to jail, eh? Not you that had it, but you was in the vehicle. So you had to go and sit down in jail. And remember, you ain't supposed to be getting bail and thing on firearm offenses, eh? So you had to go and stay inside there, but look at the circumstance. So we were simply saying that these things should have been judged on an individual basis, based on the circumstances surrounding it. Because the people in the vehicle could even say, no, we just picked that man up the road, and he had nothing to do with that. But due to how the law was structured, you had to go inside too until a hearing could take place. So we were simply saying, hey, you have different aspects like that one I just mentioned that have to be looked at. You telling me if I on a bus, the bus is stopped and searched, and they find a 2-gun on the bus, I had to go to jail? And nobody ain't claim it, they just find the 2-gun on it, I had to go to jail, and everybody else had to go to jail? You all understand that firearm law they pass, that is what can happen with that, legally, now in Grenada. And then you're supposed to go and sit down up there and not come out until the case call. No bail. We were saying, yes, you need to do things in relation to firearm, but it must make sense. You can't accuse them of having that, but it must make sense. Simple things like that. But again, instead of listening, These people like to get into the back and forth about you was there and who is you and all this kind of thing. Yeah, Fadu, yes, we had high five and we had ICQ and tagged. Yeah, you had tagged and all them things back in those days. But you did not have all these AI generated stuff. The majority of what you're seeing right now on social media, on Facebook, and they need to do something about that, because on YouTube, on Facebook, it's just a lot of, they call it AI slop. It's just a lot of nonsense, just created nonsense to grab your attention, to get advertising and that sort of thing. A lot of AI slop that's done on social media. So we have to understand that even then, back in 2014, it was already a problem. Cyberbullying was already a problem. Yeah, you just had a big situation in Guyana. You know what is the situation in Guyana? There was a chap that left Trinidad, went down there, had these different relationships with various women, and then he claimed that he lost his phone, and all the videos of him and them women in all kind of situations started spreading all over Guyana. Now, with the laws that we were putting in place in 2013, 2014, a situation like that, you could have dealt with it under the electronic crimes. But there were people in Grenada who felt that putting in things to deal with those things was unfair. And now the same people come in and say put it in. Because this one tape leak and that one tape leak and this one vexed with so on, so they take the picture and the video and they send it out, and all sorts of things like that has been happening. And we were saying protect especially our children, because there are children who go through situations that they crack, they can't take it, they take their life, or somebody's threatening to put out something about them and they can't take it. What are we waiting for? More of our children to die? Because some have died already, that we're waiting for more of our children to die for situations like these? But it is good now to see that sense has prevailed, and now the same people who were against those things now praising it now. The same cyberbullying that I was talking about in that piece I played for you a while ago back in 2014. The same people are praising that it's being placed in the law now. Yeah, so I don't have a problem with placing it in the law now. I just believe it is in the wrong bill. I believe it needs to go back into the Electronic Crimes Act. That's where it needs to go. Not under domestic violence. You could refer to it under domestic violence. I am not a lawyer. But I am saying that it should be placed back under electronic crimes, and the reference can be made in the Domestic Violence Act to the Electronic Crimes Act, where it rightfully belongs. There are other aspects to the domestic, and again, there is this heavy there's this heavy implication, this heavy focus on men versus women. And again, I want to say that is not all that it have when it comes to domestic violence. A little doesn't mean tongue, a little like on the street sometime. I know girls who in relationship with girls. In this Grenada, it happens. Some of us may want to say that it doesn't. It happening. And you want to know how some girls beating up their girlfriend. The same takes place with males. So you think that no male has ever been raped in Grenada? You believe that? It takes place, but they don't want to go out there, and they ain't going in no police station. Which man going in the police station and say he get raped? Especially by an ex-man. Which man going in the police station and say that that happened to him? He shame. He ain't going. Have we put laws in place to deal with that? No, we only speaking about the women and the women and the women. And yes, we have to protect our women. The mothers of the nation, the creators. We have to protect our women. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that we don't need to focus and we don't need to protect our women. But I'm saying make it across the board. Yeah, the flight leaving now. Make it across the board. Because it takes place both ways and same ways. Make it across the board. Stop making the whole discussion about men. Yes, we have to deal with our men. The churches have to play a bigger part and come out. I know for a fact that Pastor Dave King And I'm going to mention his name because he was one of the people that used to go out there. I don't know if he's been, I'll kind of lose touch, so I don't know if he's been doing it of late. But I know Pastor Dave King was a man that used to go out on the blocks, get groups of the young guys together and speak to them. And talk to them. And show them what life really is about. I know that. There are other pastors that used to do things like that. I know Pastor Happy was part of when we had Badness Out of Style, when we used to go to the blocks and speak to guys. And so you had Pastor Happy that used to be involved in that as well. So the pastors, the churches, they have to become involved, actively involved. Christ didn't sit down in the temple and just wait for people to come and meet him, you know. That is for sure. I'm sure on that. He didn't sit down in the temple and just say, all you come to me. But he went out there. And any religion that you are, you realize that they went out there amongst the people to speak to them and make their lives better. And as such, the religious community has a responsibility to do that. The government has a responsibility to put the laws in place. So if they wanted to rush something right now to deal with the issue of guys who rape people coming out of prison, because I know of one individual that has been in jail for rape maybe about 4 times now. I was reading the court transcript. One individual been in jail for rape about 4 times. I think the first one was about 1992. But that's the first one that they were caught for. Who knows if they do before that? But it was about 1992 was the first one. 1992, 1993. And then after that, they've been in and out of prison for rape. So why is the public not being made aware that this person is a sex offender, registered multiple times, registered sex offender, that people know because that individual come out, and oftentimes I see they wouldn't put their real name on social media. They put a made-up name on social media, but they put their picture because they're not an ugly-looking person. And when I see they reaching out to young ladies, you know, a person who's been in jail for rape 4 times, and they've been reaching out to young ladies and so on, and I had to go in the young ladies' inbox and say, hey, run far. I do it. Any young lady I see, go and become friends with them on social media. Go and attend them, run far. Who want to vex with me and care. Run far. And I'm letting them know the history. But that shouldn't have to be something that somebody like me has to do because I know. And there may be people who know and seeing that and just like pass it. But you're supposed to be at a stage whereby now what was being prepared in 2021, 2022 should have been completed. There's no excuse that the Attorney General's chambers and the Ministry of Legal Affairs can give for that law not being enacted by now. None. Zero. Don't even try to give one because, believe me, a lightning bolt might just hit all you. Don't try. There's no excuse why right now there is no sex offenders registry law and no sex offenders registry in place in Grenada. Yeah? Prevention is better than cure. So if you know these people are multiple offenders, and people know that, hey, you could go there and check and you could know who is who, then you know how to deal with it. Your daughter may go and bring one of these guys home, you know. And next thing, it might be your next daughter that end up paying for it. So we need to understand where we're going with this thing. It's not just a political discussion and say, okay, NNP this and NDC this and all kind of thing. I could go that direction, you know. But prevention is better than cure. And right now, that is what we need here in Grenada. A lot of people, 90% of the people talking about the cure. 10% of us talking about prevention. Yeah? I'm going to open the phone lines, 1473-440-7377. That's the number for you to call and get onto the inside. It is now 7 minutes after the hour of 9 o'clock on the Spice Isle of Grenada. Yes, indeed. And folks, yeah, just remember, we are looking for your donation. Yes, we need your donations, whether it's $5, $10, $20, whatever it is. Yeah, give us your donations. For those of you who are outside of Grenada and you're wondering how, let me just put up something there. No, the program ain't done. But you can go to there and you can make your donation, whether it's $5, whether it's $10, whether it's $20, whatever it is that you could make. We appreciate it. Yeah, if it's 50 cents you give us, we appreciate it because it helps. Because that 50 cents might be out of 75 cents alone that you have. So we appreciate it. It could be $1 alone you could give. We appreciate it. Yeah? So don't think that, hey, I don't have this to give. No, whatever it is that you have and you can give, we appreciate it. Yeah? Because we know the economic situation with a lot of folks. A lot of people catching the net, and not just here in Grenada, but out in the US too, out in Canada too, out in the UK, and to the Australian listeners and those of you listening in Africa, etc., wherever you are, we know. So we understand. So if you wish to donate, folks, you just put the link again into the chat on both of the platforms, both on YouTube and Facebook, so you can go and you can make your donation. Whatever size donation you can make. Yeah, because see, we have to constantly be changing things, buying cables, changing up board, all kind of thing inside here to make sure that we're able to do the program properly. And then we want to expand the program. Yeah, we want to expand the program even more, especially now, because you all know what is going on. You all know what time it is. We need to expand the program. We need to go on radio, on various stations. We need to go on radio and so on. So we have to expand. And we need your help to expand. We're trying to do what we can on our own, but we need your help as well to be able to expand the program. All right, 1473-440-7377. That is the number for you to call and get onto the inside of tonight's program. And let me say a special good night to all of you in my second home up there. Well, I have a lot of second home, eh? I ain't a third home, I have a first home where I live in, yeah, down in Grenada. And then all the other places is my second home. Like Tivoli, yeah, Jamari area, Tivoli. Ahoma, good night to Gertrude Abraham. Good night to you, my dear. Yeah, Tavani, good night. 1473-440-7377. That is the number for you to call and get on to tonight's show. Come on, folks. You started with it. Have that conversation with our children. Have that conversation. And you know, sometimes it don't even have to be your children. You know. It could be the neighbor own, but have the conversation with them, because you the same neighbor that gonna hold your head and ball if something happened to the neighbor child. We're Grenada. We're very close-knit communities. And what happens to our neighbor's children? Sometimes we ain't talking to the neighbor, you know. Sometimes for years we ain't break our word with the neighbor, but we still care about their children. We want to see good for the children. When their children going into call, and you see them mash up the field, and they come home with so much gold medal and all, we jumping up too. We ain't talking to the mother and father, you know, but we jumping up. Because we see that child grow, that is one of us that is from the community. So we also have to take the responsibility and have that conversation. Men, we have to have that conversation with our daughters. We have to have that conversation with our sons. Stop just telling our daughters, and don't do that. Just don't tell your daughter, but if anybody last year coming up there for them, you know, I will deal with them. Because your daughter ain't going to come and tell you nothing. Your daughter might be going through abuse right now. And the reason she's afraid to tell daddy is she don't want to see she father passing in police hand. She don't want to see that. It doesn't mean that you're weak. It don't mean that you're not a good father or you're weak. If you take a different approach and you go to the police and push and make sure that what has to be done legally is done. That will always be the better approach. Not might, it will always be the better approach to go through the legal route. But speak with your daughters. Speak with your sisters and all, you know. Speak with your sisters. Because some fellas, the lineman in the shop there is, boy, if any man touch my sister, boy, I'm going home for my cutlass, I'll go deal with it, I'll do this, I'll do that. And the sister afraid now when something happened to come and say, oh gosh, I don't want to see my brother in trouble. So have that conversation with them. Have that conversation with your sons. Yeah? To learn to sit and talk. Because when they learn to have conversations with you, they go understand how important having conversations is. I'm walking the street with JJ and me and him talking. Anybody who does see us could tell you that. Me and JJ always talking. He like to ask a lot of questions and I like to try to answer his questions. I ain't gonna just tell him hush and do ask nothing. No. I answering his questions. 7 years old. I answering his questions. Let him learn to have conversations. Let him learn to speak, because remember, we're into a generation of young people now that there are certain things that we who grew up in the 80s, the 90s, or even the 70s and the 60s, we knew what it was like to go and sit on the block in the evening time and have a conversation. We knew what it's like to come home from school and then you go in the sea and take a bath, you and your friends, or you go in the river, or you go and you hunt for dove, or you go and you look for mango, and them kind of thing. We knew about that. No matter what part of Grenada you're from, we knew about those things. This generation ain't know that. You know how much children going to secondary school right now can't climb a tree? You know how much of them can't climb a mango tree? They can't climb. Not only because they don't have as much tree around as before, but when they want mango, somebody a mango selling somewhere, just get a bag of mango. They ain't going in the bush and try and get no mango. They can't make kite. Easter coming up, they can't make kite, you know. They go in and buy kite. They ain't going and harass their mother, and when she looking for she curtain that she buy Christmas time, the curtain disappear. Or she bed sheet that she had there, that she mother did leave for her, disappear all of a sudden when it's kite time. And when she check the kitchen flour gone, because they go in and make kite, cookie flex and so to make kite. They don't know about this. Young people do not know about that. So they don't even know how to interact with each other. They interact on social media more than they interact in person. They don't have physical conversations. They have electronic conversations, and that becomes more and more their reality. And as such, we need to have those conversations with our children. I was telling JJ the other day, I said, what you can't climb a tree. You have to bring your countryside, let you climb a 2 mango tree. And he said, Daddy, I go fall. I said, that's part of it. We used to fall off too. But you have to learn to climb. If you learn to climb properly, you ain't falling easy. And that's just because that is how I grew up, climbing all kind of tree, except coconut tree. I never on that one. But all kind of tree and different things like that. Like a little monkey from tree to tree. But that is how we grew up. Children now don't do that. My mother had to go on the back step and shout. When you hear Sheldon, sometime I way down in the bush somewhere and I had to run and come back. Mommy calling. These days you have to make sure you have your mobile phone on you when mommy calling, innit? Yeah? Even though you're going right there, you have to make sure now that mommy's going to back step and shout. Here, you know. As far as I hear, you know. I have to come home. But all of those things we have lost now in our communities. I'm not saying that we have to regress and go back to that. But I'm saying that we have to understand that certain aspects of human interaction we need to get back in our lives. Especially as Caribbean people, we have to get back certain aspects in our life of how we interact with each other, how we speak with each other. Yeah? How we congregate as people. So it's not just that you drag the child to church on a Sunday because they're going unwilling, so it's dragging. They go on a Sunday, they go to church. And that's the only time they really get to congregate outside of when they're in school. And when they're in school, they come out from school and then they head home and they go onto a device immediately. And they don't get to play, they don't get to interact, they don't get to kick a ball, they don't get to do anything. We have to get back a bit into that, yeah? Once again, 14734407377. You can call us on the WhatsApp. Yeah. Also today, folks, I saw the government putting out a release. And, oh boy, I can't pull it up there. I'll get it. I'll find it in a while. Yeah, so let me just take this call first and then I'll get to that. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Brother.
Hey, Fadu. Well, I know you're a
grievance.
man as a little fella, you climb tree, man. You climb real mango tree, tambran tree,
Yes. That was back
guava
in the
tree.
days, isn't it?
Yeah, man, plum. But
That was
plum
back
tree, I
in
take
the
care of
day.
plum tree. I know them branch already.
Like Big Belly and Big Belly and Tin Foot.
Yeah, man.
Like Big Belly and Tin Foot days, you know.
Yeah, man.
It's a very interesting conversation you're having there right now. It's like it's so thought provoking, but a lot of people might be dismissive on how deep this goes, how deep the rabbit hole goes. All right, first off, let me say this. I'm sorry for the loss of everyone that's grieving right now.
That's hard. Yeah.
Shut things go at all, right? I'm not sure about the circumstances with this new situation, but I would like people to not gravitate to the divide and conquer Willie Lynn syndrome that's being applied, right? I want people to remember that slavery, because that is where we come from. Prior to that, we were kings and queens, innit? Slavery couldn't separate the black people from each other. Master used to do what he did, but breaking and nutmegging, and we still had to go back out in the plantation and move as a unit. They took away the extended family. So you see all the pieces in our structure in society right now that we're missing, like we having right now with the counseling and people to talk about mental health and all that. With the extended family, that's what we had covered, because there was no child left unattended for a long period of time, because if mama and daddy go to work, granddad and uncle or somebody there. Now, granted, there's the warp situations where we have some of the same people that's supposed to protect us used to commit harm to us, but that is a knowledge forced on we people. We need to pay attention to that. I would like the social construct to remember that. All they're doing right now is trying to get us divided. And I think this government is using that as a part of the psychology. Put it this way, Fadu. When a soldier go to war, right?
Mm-hmm.
When they experience a lot of trauma and stuff, don't they have debriefing and stuff for them?
Yeah, they have debriefing, and some of them have it for the rest of their life,
For their life, right?
Yeah, they're medicated. According to the soldier, they may be medicated and all.
There's certain females that go through a medical condition. I think it's postpartum.
Yeah,
when
postpartum
they have a
depression.
right, and they didn't go through. It's almost like they don't want the kid. They want to try. Some of them try to kill the child and all that, right?
Mm-hmm.
So that's how deep that psychological meds go. There's pseudo pregnancy even. Sometimes a female convinces herself that she's pregnant to the point that everything works or operates in her body like she is or she's not.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's how powerful the mindset is. So think about over 400, 500 years of programming be done to us. Don't they think that there's trauma that goes through everything and comes, because we don't know that trauma and stuff, they have that through DNA too.
Fadu,
it could be transferred to DNA.
What I'd recommend to you, the late Professor Rex Nettleford of the University of the West Indies, Rex Nettleford, Jamaican,
Mm-hmm.
he wrote some papers regarding what he called the mental construct of slavery. I'm trying to remember the exact term that he used.
True.
Where
True.
he claimed that
Yes.
a lot of our behaviors in the Caribbean are a holdover from what we went through during the slavery period.
To slavery.
So, for instance, that a man not wanting to have a proper relationship with a woman is because in slavery you didn't want to get too attached to a woman because she could be sold at any time.
Exactly.
And then massa might do something to her right in front of you. So you didn't want to have that relationship. So generationally, we have kept that in our subconscious. As Black West Indians, we have kept that in our subconscious so that there is something in us that we have not yet come to terms with, and we don't want to have a relationship because somebody could just come and take her and sell her. Somebody could come and take her and go with her.
And
so we don't want to get close.
I like those aspects. Exactly. I like
Read
those
Rex
aspects
Nettleford
to
on
be
that
addressed.
one.
I would like those aspects to be addressed, because I think we're separating a fraction from the whole. No, reality, if it is that statistically, as they say, the females are disproportionately attacked and that kind of stuff, right?
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
Statistically, they're the ones that are more the parental figures, right?
Mm-hmm.
So technically, it will sound kind of crazy to a lot of people. They might come at me for that, but it will mean that they are responsible for the kids that they are breeding. The same people as being the problem, they are responsible for manufacturing that mindset. You get me? No, again, don't come at me, but scientists would suggest that bad behavior towards female is a trained something. It's something that's experienced, and sometimes it goes with the resentment to the mother or the mother figure in the family. Like the studies that's been done on that. So I'm just saying, again, don't come at me, but statistically, it would suggest that the same problems that the females are having, they are the ones creating the mindset with the males that they're producing. You understand the conflict? So again, I don't want nobody to come at me, but I'm just saying, it will begin with us, Fadu. We have to holistically decide what, because even in the construct of development, if you go to the development and go to technology, you lose a lot of tradition. The tradition is what's going to keep us as a people.
And you see, that's what I was getting at with things like the making kite. I know as a little boy, when you see around this time of year, when you see evening time and I come home from school, I had to find, because I go and fly kite. A kite that I made. I used to go down to cut the coconut branch and so and make my own coquille flex to make the kite. And then go and fly my kite. Yeah.
Some Kokoriki.
But in Trinidad, we used to make one they call Mad Bull and Singing Angel.
So, Mad Bull, that's how you adjust for the song.
Yeah, and the Singing Angel was a similar to the Mad Bull. But you get your flour and thing, and you get your paper, and you go and sometimes it's brown paper you have, sometimes you're lucky enough, you save up your little 15 cents here and your 25
and you get some
cents
nice
there,
paper.
And you get some nice paper and you're going to go, you know?
Yeah, we used to have sticky cherry. We had a sticky cherry tree.
Yeah.
So we used to use that too, or sometimes you mix some flour to make some starch.
And you put a zwill on the tail because you want to cut somebody else's kite.
But even plastic, even them wrong paper, them what you call it, them paper plates.
Yeah.
Even that you used to get it, you put a rib, you put a piece of tail on it to get some balance and you throw that.
Plastic bag and all, you know?
Yeah, plastic bags, yep, just a plastic bag alone.
Yeah, but now, when children want a kite now, they are not shown by their parents, this is how you make a kite. I'm guilty of it. You're not shown, this is how we make a kite. We go in town and we buy a kite.
Alright, so pre this, because at that point I don't want to, I talk so much here, but I don't want to leave at that point, you know. So from a social construct, what they have done more or less is discipline the mind to a selfish context or individual context. So if you had more, when you have, you see what the periods you're talking about there, it had more socialism. You understand a pecking order or a hierarchy. You understand, okay, you might be Johnny bad boy, and when you go to road, you realize somebody better than that, you realize that you're proper in maths. So you stay in school, innit? You get me? We had that kind of construct, but we kind of lost that right now. So what you have now going on is that, especially based on time and people about the bag and trying to get the bag, they give the kids now the electrical devices to take their time, or at least they could have some time. So it's the information from that controlling the mindset. So a lot of empathy is being lost because there's no socializing. There's no understanding the hierarchy of life and how that go, because they're being controlled from a artificial animated perspective. No, I mean, I better say it now because I'm working on something right now, but if you realize there's no content online that deals with us as a people, everything is somebody suggesting what life should be to us.
Well, I'll say this. One of the things I admire about Jamaicans not changing the accent for nobody, no matter what part of the world they go. You hear them, the moment you hear them, you know it's a Jamaican. The most you might take them for, you might think is a Vincentian. That's the closest to them, I believe. But you know for a fact is a Jamaican. And they are very proud of who they are, what they have achieved as a nation. And in the 60s and 70s and so on too, they use culture to develop a self-identity of who and what is a Jamaican. Grenada had the same taking place even during the revolution. And afterwards we have a bit of that, but we've sort of trended out now that you hear a term a slang start to be used in Jamaica or in Trinidad, and we pick it up. So it become a term that we use in here. and we started to assimilate a
Grenada has
lot
always
of
been
other
that.
islands instead of developing our own.
Because they don't have, as
With-
I said,
with
I
the
love how you
exception-
put that date.
With the exception
listen.
of jab music. Right now we bad for that.
Uh-huh.
And I'm glad how
Uh-huh.
Grenadians defend that we have the best juve. I love how Grenadians defend oil down. We ain't want to see nobody make no
Sap.
breadfruit porridge and call that oil down.
Sap.
We ain't tolerating that. The whole country coming for you. And our flag, how we defend these things. But as a people, we have to decide how we coalesce all of that into who and what is a Grenadian.
Well,
Yeah,
well,
and our culture must reflect that. Whether we start
I
making
love- I
Grenadian
love
movies,
that.
etc., we have to coalesce
love
all of
that.
that.
we used to champion too, though. We used to champion our black females as strong partners and allies in our movements. We used to champion black power, fist high. We used to champion them things. So a foreign faction should not be able to tell us what a strong melanated woman is. Because we see mama bring some bucket and thing already. We see mama in the land. We know what strong individuals are. So, as I'm saying, the progress that they champion in farm, they adapting a Western concept that is being a program. Even Cosmopolitan say, the woman in Cosmopolitan say she lied, you know. Fadu go here, it seems. If we keep going there, you'll keep going on a lengthy one because there's a lot to be said. I'm just saying, don't adapt
Me and you gotta sit down and
man
have that
against
talk.
woman meds.
Me and you gotta sit down and have that talk, but no
And
Mary
sit down
Jane
and have
involved
that-
there, you know, I
talk.
can't take the smoke.
Yeah, I know it's a crazy one too. I just saying, just a cry. Don't adapt the man against woman. We need to move together as a unit.
Yeah, and that's what,
You know what I mean?
that's why I find a
A
lot of the
chain is only strong as its
conversations.
weakest link.
Fadu,
You get me?
Before you go, I think that's
Go
what
on.
we're getting at tonight. A lot of the discussion is like setting up men as the enemy and
Exactly.
women as the victim. Yes, we understand the majority of
Exactly.
what has happened. It is men against women, but we have to understand
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of others that happening there that going unreported, unacknowledged,
Unreported.
etc.
Yes.
taking place there that has been happening. So we can't just frame it in that perspective as men bad, they killing
Well,
women.
well,
we have to,
I have a
we
lot
have to
of
understand it's broader than
fact,
that.
it goes along the lines. Well, I have a lot of male friends that would tell you that their first sexual experience was an older woman or a neighbor's sister, cousin, or something that was older than them. I have a lot of mates that would tell you that. Like there are times I go to like meetings and a formal situation, and I would have like the females, some females, you know, like how they touch and that kind of thing when they gesticulate, and I have to keep my hand straight down because if it is no, I'm to touch in a same manner, it will be based on the laws, the construct
Yeah,
of the
boy,
laws and
jail.
how that's applied.
Jail.
You get me? But they are able to do those things. Like they could be able to be friendly, and as you say, it wouldn't much be reported because in a way it almost
No man ain't going and say a woman
Strokes.
touch him.
exactly. You get me? You
No going
strokes
to
your
police
manhood,
station and
innit?
say that.
You get me? You will be laughed at. I've heard of cases where police officers laugh at dudes and tell them to go back and get more in it.
My
You
brother,
check.
as I say, if we continue talking, we ain't go finish tonight.
Still less.
So you know
Still
you go.
less. Safe travels,
Blessings,
brother.
Fadu.
Love on.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Blessings. Yes, indeed, folks. That's my good friend Fadu. Yeah. And folks, before I run out of time tonight, let me let you all know this one. Yeah, the St. David's branch of the new National Party, they're having that bingo. So that is coming up on Friday, February the 27th. That's next week, Friday. It starts from 5 p.m. The doors open at 5 p.m. You could go in, you have a little drink, you get your card, you settle yourself and thing. And the game start from 7 p.m. So that's taking place at the constituency office in St. David. Regular games, you know, they're going to have little games, so a little 150 here, a little 250 there and thing. And then they are the $2,500 jackpot. You're getting one card for $20 and two for $35. And of course, you're going to be having an excellent DJ there. You're going to be having music, all them kind of thing. We have a call online. Hello, good night.
Hi, Sheldon. Good night.
Hey, good night to you, my brother. How are you?
I'm good. Not too good at all. Not too good.
Not but I could understand.
Yeah, man. That's my niece that get killed this morning, boy.
Yeah, accept our sympathy, my brother. Really and truly accept
That's my
our sympathy.
That's my baby sister daughter.
Oh boy.
Last night, this morning, when I get a phone call, I hear the phone ringing because the time up here is different to back home. It's 2 hours different.
Yeah.
When I heard the phone ringing and I look and I saw my brother calling, I didn't want to answer the phone because I don't like to answer the phone after hours. I said, this call that to be.
You know when it's them
It's
hours,
not right.
there's something, yeah? Yeah.
Yeah. I said, no, that's not right. I'll leave the phone at the rang, then I answer. He said, brother, I said, what happened? He said, they know to kill like a sister daughter. I said, what? Sheldon, I jump out of the bed, no shot. And I just go in the balcony and the coldness started to hit me. Up to now, no, I can't catch back myself yet.
Oh, boy.
Believe it or not. Yeah, man.
So my brother,
Hello?
yeah, I'm listening to you.
Okay. Yeah.
Again, our condolences here on behalf of the Talking Points family, on behalf of every one of us here at Talking Points, all the listeners, all the viewers, all of the people who are associated with Talking Points. We'd like to send our condolences to yourself and your family on the loss of your niece. It's never an easy one, brother. It's never an easy one.
Mhm.
It's never an easy one. And our thoughts are with the family. As our thoughts are with all families that have been going through this, because I think lots of times we focus on what has happened today and what happened 2 weeks ago, and we forget all the other families who went through that, who had sons that were killed by other boys. We not having a discussion about that, are we? But there are sons, people lost their sons who were killed by other guys, sometimes right by the village shop, sometime on the block, sometimes they go to activity and they're killed. So our thoughts are with all of them too, and we have to understand that a reset in the thinking has to take place of how we interact with each other. A definite reset has to take place, my brother.
And you know the thing about it, that girl that died, once I ever spoke to this young lady, she don't know me. That's my niece speaking about her. She don't know me at all because I hardly live back at home. All my life is traveling. And the last time I remember I spoke to her, I was on vacation and I met she and her mom. They came she picked her from school like she was about 3, 4. Then I spoke to her. And up to today, I never had spoke to her again. I never see her again, but until they sent me the picture today. I saw the picture of her. I speaking about over 20 something years, almost 30 years I'm speaking about. I never speak to her. Face to face as big people growing up. So I don't know what is it she look like. I don't know how she, I know nothing about her. Yeah.
Yeah, my brother. Well, my brother, again, our condolences. We just don't take it a bit easy as you can, eh? I just tell people, I just tell people, when you lose somebody and you feel to bawl, If you feel to cry and roll on the ground and tear up your clothes, do it, Do it. No, I just...
This man hadn't, but I one of those hadn't one.
Nah, me hadn't for nothing. When I had to cry, I'm bawling. Fresh coal coming out my nose, I'm rolling on the ground if I had to. I don't care. I'm not keeping it inside. I'm letting it out if I had to cry, I cry. When I had to cry, I am crying. Yeah? Being strong means showing your emotion, not hiding it. Being strong is showing your emotions. Don't think, he's a strong man and I hide. No strong men don't hide emotion, you let out. That is something that they teach us that wrong. Let out your emotions, man. If you don't deal with it there. I've seen people play, a strong, this family member die and a strong, and I ain't crying and thing. And you know when they go in, when they take them in the graveyard, or during the funeral, suddenly dies when everything just come up on them because it wasn't laying it out piece by piece, and then book, they just drop down. Yeah, so my thing is, lay it out, hold it back. You ain't strong, you hold it back, now lay it out. That's just my advice. All right, my brother. Well, as I say, enjoy the rest of your night, but know how it goes. You try and take it easy.
Yeah, all right then.
Okay, bro.
All right.
Yes, indeed, folks. So our prayers are with him and his family in these trying times. It is not an easy thing to hear that one of your family members has gone through this sort of thing and what took place and all of that. One of the other things I wanted to mention is that in situations like this, I'm hearing certain talk and accusations, and I'll just say this in relation to that because, again, I am not in a position where I know if what is being said, which is why I won't repeat it. I don't know if what is being said is true or not true because I heard things for the day and you hear, yes, this happened and all kind of thing, only to find out that it happened. Right? But I'm saying this. If what I'm hearing is true, and those who've heard it know what I'm talking about, then there needs to be a review of how police deal with these matters if something is reported. Yeah? So if there is a threat or an incident reported and a notice taken of that, there may need to be a review of how the RGPF deals with that. It may be that in 2026, what was working in 2023 can no longer work, and therefore that needs to be updated. I'm just saying that for what it's worth. Remember, prevention is better than cure. Yeah, because sometimes the cure can kill you too. Prevention is better than cure. And as I mentioned, the police, I was mentioning earlier that I was seeing that they got an increase and so on, and I want to congratulate them for getting the increase. But at the same time, you're giving an increase, yeah, 4%, 4%, and 4%, I think, over the next 3 years. Nothing new. Under the new National Party, the same was being done. So when I see them putting out historic and all sort of things, that's why I keep saying these people are trying to fool those who don't know what was taking place before. But you could speak to any honest police officer and they'll tell you that during the period of the NNP, the same thing was taking place. You negotiate, and you don't negotiate just for 2026. You negotiate for a 3-year period. So you negotiate and you will get a 4%, 4%, 4%, or you might say, hey, due to the cost of living increase, we want no 4%, we want 7%. And you will negotiate and so on. It might come down until government might say, well, okay, we go meet you at 3%, or we go meet you at 4%, or whatever it is. But that's just negotiation. That's why government has a negotiating team, and the police have their negotiating team, police and prisons. So when I see them saying historic today, what's historic about that? What is really historic about that? That over 3 years, they're getting a 4% increase each year over the 3 years? That is not historic. That has happened before. The last increase was slightly less because I think they got, was it 13% over 3 years? That works out to nearly the same thing. Yeah? 4, 8, and 4, 12. And last one was 13% over 3 years, so it was more. So what's historic about that? That they got, I'm still trying to understand. And the thing is this, while they're laughing and grinning and I see they take the police commissioner picture and put up in a political ad, Mr. Commissioner, warn them not to do that. Mr. Randy Connaught, warn these people not to do that. That is unfair to you as Commissioner of Police to take your picture and put it in the political ad that they're putting out about the salary negotiations and signing today. That is unfair to you. Talk to them about it and tell them, please avoid doing that to you, Mr. Commissioner. Because sure you don't like that. So warn them, don't do these things. Right? But while you have this situation, they're talking about the 4%. They're not talking about the pilot corporal and them that's still up to today, the 17th day of February, can't get the money over a year now that they're supposed to get. They ain't talking about that. They ain't talking about the pensioners whose pensions have not been adjusted with the increases that the police officers are getting. You all understand what I mean by that, right? Because if there's a percentage increase to police officers, you expect that that increase will be applied to the pensions of retired police officers as well. And I'm saying that while it applies to those within the service, the pensioners have been complaining that they ain't getting the increase. Those who have pensioned out from the police service. So it's all well and nice to talk about historic. What's historic about it? Everything you're talking about there has been addressed by the new National Party before. You just come and do what you have to do. It's time to negotiate to increase it a bit. So you come and you negotiate to increase it a bit. We want a cookie. Historic my food. Yeah? But congratulations to the police. I hope all you get the increase because you know what has happened, man. They're telling all you getting this increase and then when all you checking all your pay packet, all you realize nothing in there. That is why the corporals have been threatening to take the government of Grenada to court. They have been threatening to take them to court because the corporals have not been receiving their proper money. I'll continue to talk about it until they get it. Just like I will continue to talk about the groundsmen that not getting their money. Just like I will continue to talk about the road patching crew that not getting their money. Just like I'll talk about the nurses who not getting their money. I'll talk about the police officers and every other category of worker that not getting their money. The teachers that spending months before they could get their money. I'm going to continue to talk about all of them. Yeah? I'm going to continue to talk about it. Under NNP, I would not talk about it. You know why? We go pay them. I didn't know that. We go pay. Sometimes the union does want to hold NNP in the neck. Because they know NNP go pay. That's why they just get on so. They know NNP go pay. And when NNP tell them they're getting that, they know by the next pay packet. They're looking nice. With retroactive if they have to get it. With this government over a year, the corporals waiting, they cannot get their money. Well, they did promise they wouldn't pay late. So as somebody say, they keep their promise. They ain't paying at all. Not they paying late. They ain't paying at all. And Merrill? They ain't paying at all. Fatman George, good night to you, sir. So we have to understand what is taking place there. Elections are coming up. Police are a sizable voting bloc. So they need to try and buy the police. So after doing something that is done for police every 3 years anyway, after doing that, they come and try to make it look historic. So those who have just gone into the police force and just gone into the prison service, because there are set of prison officers recently went into the service, they make it look now like something new to these people. They may not know that police getting that all the time. So they'll say, wow, this government well doing things. Look at just come in the police service and again an increase already. Not understanding that there is a common thing that has happened all the time. They want to make it look like it's something special. It's not something special. You negotiate as you're supposed to do and you pay. NNP do it. The last NDC, I believe, did it. The NNP before that did it. So it's not, I sure Gary did it. So there's nothing new. Now you're trying to make it a historic, big thing, put out, all kind of thing. I tell you, this government is a lot about fluff and not substance. They're about giving you the big picture. Wow. Look, the Prime Minister stand up talking to the Commissioner. Yeah, boy. Splash a yellow and the NDC thing all over it. NDC doing thing, boy. Yeah, look thing here, look thing there. Go and ask the police officers in St. John if the dormitory for the females fixed. Go and ask them. Ask them. Ask the females in St. John if the dormitory fixed. Ask the police officers in St. John if they are seeing the magistrate now, because I know that there's been a problem in St. John for many months in relation to having a magistrate up there. Sometimes a magistrate at a lead tongue to come up there to try and sit on matters because for some reason there is no magistrate appearing up in St. John on a regular basis. And it is causing problems to the police. It is causing problems to the public. It is causing problems to the people of St. John. They already don't have a member of parliament. They have one in waiting. They have Honorable Alvin Dabrio, who will soon, when the election call, return to save the people of St. John. But as it is right now, they have an absentee landlord. The MP don't doing nothing. Well, she doing a lot, but not for them. For herself and she friends. That's what they find in time. Yeah? They ain't finding time to do what has to be done for the people of St. John. So an issue like that, they can't tell you anything about it. An issue like what going on down in Woodford. What about the Woodford residents now who have to deal with the Renault asphalt plant that's being placed there, that's being built there, that government, while some slept during the Christmas time, gave permission for Renault to build that plant there and to build a jetty down at the waterfront out there in Woodford. The MP can't tell you about that. She could tell you no because it's a fait accompli. It's done doing the thing already. Now they could tell you about it. Yeah? These are the situations that day-to-day Grenadians are facing in Grenada. And again, I continue to repeat, the government just does not care. Yeah? Just does not care. And you know, I was about to show you all a second ad, and then I got the call. So let me just go back to this for a short, wrong mouse, for a short while. Nice, right. Yes, so folks, we have the bingo that is taking place on Friday, the 27th of February. I never know, I might be up there calling out bingo and thing, right? Then you have the meet and talk to the candidate that's taking place in Sanko Junction. Sanko! Out there in Boca. All right. Yes, man. The man himself, Nimrod Oliver, he will be there this Thursday from 6 p.m. And along with him will be the Honorable Emlyn Pierce. So you can come on out and meet, interact, and have a chat with Mr. Nimrod Oliver and Honorable Emlyn Pierce. They will be in Sanko Junction in Boca. That's going to be taking place this Thursday from 6 p.m. Nimrod Oliver, good night to you, bro. I find you keeping me far, brother. Yeah. We don't move so. Right? And remember this one, the cruise ship job fair. That's the town of St. George Northeast and St. George Northwest in collaboration with TAS Recruiting and Manning Agency. They present a cruise ship fair, job fair that's taking place this Saturday, and it's going to be at the Constantine School. All right? So that's this Saturday, the 21st of February, 2026, and it's going to be taking place at the Constantine School. So looking forward to seeing those of you that can make it there. Walk with your documents and thing one time now. Yeah, if you're walking, you know you have your passport. Even if you do have your passport, whatever documents you have for school, and you walk with it one time. They're having a job fair. Go and check the thing out. It might be an opportunity for you to improve yourself. Go on out and take hold of that opportunity. Even in opposition, the NNP have to be doing things, you understand? Because we understand what our young people are going through. We understand the reality of the situation for a lot of young people in Grenada. You have a government that talks youth and does nothing in relation to youth. We know that. We know they only talk youth and they have nothing to actually do when it comes to youth. Right? And also, folks, before I run out of time, let me just let you all know. Apparently, there is a Facebook page posing as me. I'm not sure. I just got a message that there's a Facebook page posing as me. Right? Those of you listening right now, you're listening either through Sheldon Talking Points or Talking Points Facebook pages. 2 Facebook pages we have. And we have 1 YouTube page. If you see any other page out there talking about gathering funds for my birthday is far off. My birthday ain't close. It's far off still. That ain't me. There's some scamster that create a page and playing me. Let me just tell all you, if you see anybody telling all you about is my birthday, and that ain't me. Alright? I just making sure all you know. I hope none all you ain't get catch with that. Because we just tell all you about them thing, I hope none all you ain't get catch with that. Alright, folks? So let's go into some of this here right now. Oh, why is this one not playing now? Oh man, come on, play. Yeah, it decides to give trouble now. So let me see if this one plays instead. Yeah.
Level. Are you ready to take your brand to the next level? Look no further than the Chameleon Design Studios, the creative powerhouse behind Key Central and dozens of standout brands across Grenada and beyond. From web designs, animations, and motion graphics to custom video productions, we bring your visions to life with unmatched efficiency and professionalism. Need a logo? Logo design starts at just $1,500, and our starter pack includes brochures, call cards, and letterheads. Whether you're launching a new business, revamping your identity, or telling your story visual, Chameleon Design Studios is the new face of designs. Call us now at 1473-422-8601 or scan that QR code. Follow us on Instagram at Chameleon_473. Let's communicate. Call us today.
For more information, contact We Noise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com. We Noise TV, the leading streaming provider. Anytime, anywhere, any screen. Access to your favorite HD contents with prices as low as ever. Choose from monthly, quarterly, or yearly payments. This worldwide service is flexible for you to keep up with all your favorite programs, shows, movies, and local programming from home no matter where you travel to. Worldwide TV channels right at your fingertips wherever you are. Latest in live sports, binge watch all your favorite TV shows, movies on demand, videos on demand. You can pause, rewind, fast forward anytime. Never miss 1 minute in entertainment important to you. No contracts, no added prices for sports or premium packages. You certainly don't have to pull tricks like cable and satellite companies. Our product speaks for itself and beyond. Noise TV. We have everything like Netflix, Disney, Amazon. Watch your favorite movies, TV shows, and series with our services. With our service, you'll get rid of all other subscriptions. For more information, contact WeNoise TV at 929-445-4463, or you can email us at wenoisetv@gmail.com.
Yes, indeed, folks. Yeah, remember Chameleon Design. And the thing with Chameleon Designs, I'm seeing a lot of stuff on people designing stuff now, and they're just going in Chat GPT, and these things do a character. With Chameleon Designs, he give you something that's organic, truly, that could reflect you, rather than you just put something in Chat GPT. Yeah, you'll get it in a couple seconds, but does it really reflect you? So I'll always tell you, check that. And of course, our good friend Wade over there at WeNoise. Yeah, a lot of people have been having a lot of positive things to say about the service that he's offering. So folks, continue to use that service. All right. And we're getting close to wrap up time. Also a reminder to all of you of tomorrow night's meeting. And I don't know why I do not have it in my folder here. Where is it? Oh, yes. Tomorrow night's meeting. That is going to be taking place. Remember, we will be broadcasting this, God's willing, tomorrow night. That is the meeting out there in Hermitage Government School. So that is going to be taking place tomorrow night. The team out there is going to be Mr. Jelani Glean. That's the candidate for the new National Party in St. Patrick West. Honorable Skeeter Lewis Peters, the new National Party MP and candidate for St. Andrew Northeast. The St. Patrick East candidate, Mr. Robert White, and Mrs. Amanda Japal George, the new National Party candidate for St. Andrew Southwest. And they will be led by the lady herself, Madam Emotional Intelligence and Hard Work. Yes, she's a hard worker. The Honorable Emlyn Pierre, Member of Parliament for St. Andrew Southeast, Leader of His Majesty's Opposition, and Leader of the New National Party. So that's NNP Connect. It's going to be taking place tomorrow from 6:30 p.m. We will be broadcasting here on Talking Points. And for those of you who are heading to the meeting, because I hear the meeting going to be a bomb, it's going to be real action. Right? That's at the Hermitage Government School up there in St. Patrick. Head on out and be part of that one. I hear Fluffy say you're going up early, all kind of thing. Fluffy! Best I get right up with you, and I reach down somehow, best I go up too. Alright, folks, and what I'll say is this. I believe the meeting will start roughly on time, even if not 6:30, just around that time it would be starting. And as such, it should finish in time. So once I have an hour, we'll spend an hour on Talking Points after that, yeah? So once the meeting is completed, you'll see the live is ended, and then we'll start a live with Talking Points. All right, that's once it finishes before 9. If the meeting goes past 9 o'clock, we're not going to come on. But once you see that meeting finishes 8:30, 8:45, somewhere there, bet your bottom dollar Talking Points is coming on, and we will be having a program after. So from 6:30 tomorrow, you're going to be looking out for the NNP Connect out there in Hermitage, St. Patrick. That starts from 6:30 p.m. 6:30 p.m. I'm just letting you all know the time. Mr. Handsome, you hear the time, right? Nice, good. 6:30 p.m. That's coming up tomorrow. And my good friends out in Oshawa, just make sure all your time, all your clock and thing properly, yeah? Because it's 6:30 Grenada time, right? So 6:30, the new National Party will be out there, and you will be hearing the message from the new National Party and hearing from some of the not caretakers, but candidates of the new National Party at that function. So we're looking forward to that one as well. Nice. Yeah, so when that is finished, then we're going to be coming on with Talking Points once it's finished before 9. Just giving you all a program note as well. We will be unable to do the show on a Friday night due to some other circumstances. There are other things that we have to do on Friday. So as such, we will not be on with talking points on Friday night. I may try to see if I can get something on, but I'm not positive I would have enough time to get that done. But I'll try to get something put together to have one. If not, we won't be having a show on Friday night. I'll let you all know better by Thursday night's program. But tomorrow night, NNP Connect, out there in Hermitage Government School. Looking forward to that one. Looking forward to seeing you all there. Even though I may not be there physically, I'll be looking on. So I'll see you all if you're there. All right? Nice. And some people, when you're talking, I see all when you're talking points, t-shirt when you're going out to the activity, you know. I love it. I love it. I love it. Folks, that's all the time we have for talking points tonight. It's been wonderful being here with you. In everything you say and do it safe and secure. I want to be speaking to you and with you and not about you. Love each and every one of you.
Some wouldn't like it, but I just got to sing my song. It's the wisdom and the knowledge that Jah give to I man. Sometimes I just sit down and study how a poor man does be so unlucky. Sometimes I just sit down and wonder how a poor man does have to suffer. So anything you do right as a poor man, they'll say you wrong. Anything you do right as a poor man, they'll say you wrong. Living with the high cost of living, hear what some people doing. The rich man body not matter, while is the poor them feeling the pressure. Anything you do right as a poor man, they'll say you wrong. And no matter what you do as a poor